Stop representing nouns that don't represent you. Good rising, family. Black Feniks shaking in, the owner of HogOn Welding and the founder of HogOn University. This morning, I wanted to take just a brief moment to talk about that because I feel coming into our mid-year, we have experienced a lot of things since this pandemic that happened. Like, it really showed us a lot with businesses, family, friends, losing loved ones. A lot of things kind of like came to the surface. This pandemic kind of brought a lot of things to the surface, dealing with people, friends, business, the whole nine. And we have to break the habit of representing nouns. And I say nouns because I'm putting this into a group. And a noun is a person, place, a thing by definition, family. So we have to stop representing people, places, and things that don't represent us. That's from where we are raised. Sometimes we'll represent corners, houses, street signs, things that doesn't represent us, fam. Like, that wasn't, it was put there as a control or a small position of ownership, but it was never for us to represent it. You know what I mean? And we'll represent things that are really, really that will create our demise. Like, it'll literally take us out, family. And we have witnessed this through gang violence. We have witnessed this through people dying from prisons. We have witnessed this from turf wars. Throughout American history. You know what I mean? And then it's the loved ones, fam. It's, when I say the people, a lot of times a person can't hurt you unless you have some feelings for them. Most of the time, people that you don't care about can't hurt you because you keep them so far away that whatever they got going on, it really doesn't matter. But it's always the few people that's close to you, though. It's always the Judas. Judas was close to Christ. If he wasn't close to him, he wouldn't be able to do what he did. And Christ would have never greeted him like a friend. Friend, whatever, you came to do, go on, let it be done. And sometimes we'll greet a friend, a person like a friend who's a true enemy. And so sometimes we have to watch out for that, family. Like, when we, and like I say, this is going to deal with relatives, because I'm going to say the word relatives because it got to do with blood connections. And, we'll say family, but really relatives and family are different. Family doesn't have to be someone that's blood related to you. But relatives tend to, I don't know what, even through history, relatives tend to push that pen. Relatives tend to expect more from you than the next person, or expect you to have more compassion for their situation than someone else. I have witnessed in my own family, I have witnessed relatives kill one another. I witnessed a brother, my cousin, close family, kill another brother. And I witnessed another brother, in prison right now with life, plus. I witnessed loved ones, females get beaten, representing a guy that wasn't a good representation for them. My mother, I witnessed her get, I literally, family, I remember one day witnessed my mom with 2 black eyes. And she still found a way, family, to smile about it. Like, she was cracking jokes with one of my aunts, and I don't remember exactly what she said. I was a little young then, but old enough to remember that she was making jokes out of it. She had some shades on, inside the house, and made a joke of it. My mom was, and you know what? It's so crazy because I tend to do the same thing. Sometimes things can be real, real critical in my life, and before I let it completely stress me out, I'll find some humor in it. and say, you know what? Well, that is kind of funny though. You know what I mean? Like, it is not, but it is. You know what I mean? So sometimes finding the humor in some situations can kind of like help you maintain or get through it. That's why I love stand up comedy and doing skits and just playing around, because laughter is good for the soul, fam. It really is. And last but not least, themes are a part of nouns. Things. How many things do we represent that don't represent us? Things, materials, possessions, homes, cars, vehicles, chains, watches, teeth, jewelry, diamonds, women, men, chains, purses, bags, shoes, you name it, man. Like, the list could go on and on. Tools, equipment. You know, we get so caught up. America is big on brand, big on things, you know. We're so big on things that we created a issue with plastic bottles. We created a issue with homelessness, forcing people pretty much out of their homes. You got to think, like, if a person was getting by, spending $500 or $850 a month, and you come by and say, hey, this month is doubles. I got to go up. Everything went up. I got to charge you double. 9 times out of 10, that person probably just went homeless. They're probably trying to figure it out as long as they could, but if they was barely getting by making the 850 to the 500, surely they ain't gonna be able to double it. You know what I mean? And still be above the water. So, you know, I witnessed America push, you know, people into the street. You know, and if you go back and look at the legalization of marijuana, and I'm all for 420 family, like, for real, like, you know, I would rather, you know, take herbal medication than, you know, prescribe prescriptions, you know, like, that's mixed with other toxic drugs, heroin, cocaine, you know, meth, you know, different things that they do put in drugs and utilize for medicine. Remember that, that's what they say. So you know, me personally, you know, I would rather take herbs, you know. And my mom actually died pretty much from an accidental overdose, but it killed her in her sleep. But it was from, they say, from the medicine she was taking that she was told to mix. You know, they tell you take this with this, that with that, and, you know, doing that ended up costing her a life. Probably some other things too, but they say that, you know, was like the foundational reason why her heart went into attack or stopped or whatever. You know, it just makes me think about the things that we do to ourselves and the things that we represent. You know, a lot of times we represent things that literally, like, it doesn't bring it doesn't bring any true value other than boasting, right? Sometimes, oh, I'm wearing this, oh, I got this on, or oh, I'm clean today. You know, you got some people that's known for being clean. Oh man, so and so, oh, they gonna stay clean. Oh, he gonna keep them on. You know, people got their images. But if you think about it, what things that we represent that truly represent us, like brands, you know, and there are a lot of brands that represent the struggle, that represent the community, that represents the people, you know what I mean, that represents, you know, humanity, humanity. And then there's other things that just, it's all about commerce, family. It's all about marketing. It's all about finances. It's all about growth. It's all about the way they can take from one and give to another. You know, to me, when I think of America, when I think of what Lincoln said was slavery, and if you go back in history, he said, if I could save the Union without freeing the slaves, I would. And if it cost me to free the slaves to save the Union, I would. I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't, we need to do, we got to do this for business. For business. So, a lot of things we get caught up in, family, and we don't really fully understand how these nouns can get us caught up, family. How these nouns can steal so much peace and joy. You know what I mean? Because we tend to represent things that don't represent us. And I wanted to talk about also the creation of my logo because I never fully just talked about this, but I want to say something about it because I received some input from someone, an inbox that, kind of caught me off guard. And I ain't gonna lie, family, kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of pissed me off. But I looked at it this morning, I looked back on the incident and I thought, the audacity of some people, some people don't understand that everything, even a dream, a vision, an idea costs just because you got an idea. And we came up with an idea on the table. 3 people did, so to speak. And 2 people run off with the idea and actually start working on the idea. 18 years later, something happened from the idea. The person that was at the table that never did anything would say, well, I came up with the H and the O. Really? You know what I'm saying? Like, it blows your mind how a person would want you to pay homage to them for something that has already been paid for, and moved on. So I want to talk about the creation of the logo. I actually got a guy from Newport, Arkansas, who actually drew the logo for me. One of the associates I knew from there actually referred me to this guy and said, hey man, this dude can really draw. He can probably help you come up with something. And I was like, yeah. And at the time I was doing like flyers. So, I'll come up with different flyers to represent, the comedy show or the hip hop event. And I just needed flyers done, but I wanted to come up with a logo, with my own representation. And I had came up with my name, Black Feniks, and the way I wanted to spell Feniks at that time. I've been, had that on lock, but then I wanted something for business, and I wanted to represent who I was, where I was from, and try to kill several birds with one stone. So I come up with HogOn, fam. And literally the acronym for HogOn stands for hustling over grounded obstacles naturally because I always had to hustle. I always had to go get it. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing never been handed to me. And 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 it also means that in life we have to be persistent on our goals and dreams. So I wanted something to represent who I was and what I was about. And then I wanted it to represent, like I say, where I was from. So the whole, me and Arkansas being the whole state, the Razorbacks, I wanted to not be a Razorback, but I am a whole though. Like I had to get it out the wild. I was from the southern southeast Arkansas, the cotton fields. And I chop cotton family, what I mean? That's how I got my school clothes, you know what I mean? Like I was out there, I seen that part of the South, you know what I mean? Uh, so I wanted to represent it, but in my own way. In Arkansas Hall, the Razorbacks is burgundy. And when I first got my logo design, we was going back and forth with colors and the way I wanted it to look and this and that. And at first it was burgundy, my hall. And Arkansas Hall was burgundy, and I didn't want my hall to be confused or interpret to be theirs, so I wanted to be blue, not only because my favorite color is blue, but because I grew up in the blues. Like my mom listened to the blues. I experienced the blues. We lived it. Like I understood what it was, to the Southern blues, the Delta blues, that's where I'm from, you know what I mean? So I had to represent the Delta side of it, knowing that, it's always been a struggle for us, financial, education, you know what I mean? Poverty. So the blue was actually representing the blues of the Southern living, the slave, the sharecroppers, you know what I mean? Because that's where I'm from here, you know what I mean? Family, I can take you down the street and show you number of white cotton fields, once, where they gone now because they've been harvested. But before, I can show you something. So hopefully when they come back up, I'll be able to get you some live footage and just show you how close I am and where I'm at in the South. But needless to say, I wanted it to be a representation of where I was from and who I was. So me and the gentleman got to talking, and we come up with a price. And he said, hey, I charge you X amount of dollars for this. And I said, okay, we agreed to it. I paid him. I still got the receipt because I remember how I paid him. When I paid him his money for the logo, and he was like, at first, man, I told him I'm building a brand with it. I want it to be something. This is family basically 8 years ago, knocking on 9 years ago, when I actually got it created. And he was like, well, at first he was like, I want to give it to you and be a business partner. But I was like, nah, I want to buy it, because unless you want to invest in the merch with me, go in on everything that I'm going on then I don't need no business partners. And he didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I bought it, and I was like, I'm going to bring you more business. And I'm shocked with you all, the stuff that I get coming up. I'm going to constantly spend money with you, get things done. But, sometimes people get salty, family, for different reasons. Somehow this man, mom, contacted me as if I didn't pay him. I don't know what he told her, but I let her know, hey, I paid, I don't owe them nothing, and everything that I'm doing, he haven't put anything behind what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, period. I paid him for a drawing that he drew, but me and him had to come up with the idea. You know what I mean? I said, I wanted something different. And he gave me something different, and we went back and forth until we came up with the logo. You know what I mean? And the HogOn part of the logo, you know what I mean, is to represent the complete movement, because it gives a face to the movement. But I didn't want my face on the movement, family. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be honest with you, the reason why I didn't want my face on the movement is because, for one, I'm a felon. I'm going to say that first. Number two, I'm cultured. Number three, I'm Black. And I knew that I was only going to get so far with my representation, looking the way I look, trying to reach the people I was reaching without having a movement behind it. Like, I just didn't want to say, oh, this dude with gold teeth, or this dude with this, I wanted to have a movement that, a flag, something that we can represent, that everybody can stand under, that, hey, I've been through something, I survived, I got my hog on. I wanted to make it for survivors, for people who endured, for people who's changing and becoming something great. So I didn't want my face on it, because then it'd be limited. Well, even though I'm for my people, God sent me to help and rise my people up, but I'm here to help everyone. Just like Christ came to his people specifically first, and once they rejected him, he made sure that the word was available for everyone. And I feel like that's how we have to be, because once you got the truth in you, you got to let it out, family. And if you're trying to give it to some person that don't want to take it, it is what it is. Like the scriptures say, knock the dust off your feet, go to the next house. And so dealing with this guy, after paying him or whatever, he getting a little salty about the representation of it. I started, he was like, man, what about this and this? Cause like, I'm my own person. And if I don't agree with something, I don't like something, I don't like it. You know what I mean? And I want something to represent who I am, however I do it. You know what I mean? So, we had our differences, but I paid him. We agreed to the logo, and I moved on. Family, time has flew. 8 years later, the man gonna tell me, inbox me last night, yesterday, I guess. Said, man, I helped you do this. I don't get a t-shirt or nothing. I'm like, whoa, really? And it just made me think of, I'm thinking to myself, like, we could have had a nice relationship, but you made this relationship into what it is. See, sometimes people have issues, family, and it is what it is. And instead of him coming to me like a man talk, he'll go post on my page in front of everybody to make a scene, make an incident. And I'm looking like, bro, if you had something to say, you could have just said it to me. And I had the same situation going with my music too, I'm not the type of person that bite my tongue, family, dealing with anyone. So, if it's something on my heart, on my mind, I'm gonna say it, especially if you offended me, especially if you get me to the point where, I'm upset about it, you're gonna hear about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna bite my tongue, but I'm also gonna be fair. And so, what I told them, family, I said, well, if I owe you something, well, make sure when you die, you tell God about how I owe you. I promise he'll straighten it out. Because I know I don't owe dude nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't owe dude anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, you take it up with God. I'm at peace with it. You know what I mean? Because I know that I did everything proper. You know what I mean? Some people want handouts. Some people want more than what they give. We all got to give something. And just because me and you sit at the table and have an idea, whoever put money behind it, whoever go out and start doing it, you gonna get credit for sitting at the table. But sitting at the table ain't gonna make nothing happen, family. We can sit at the table and eat all day. All we gonna do is go to the commode and go take a shit. That's what we gonna do. Go eat, get full, sit down, relax, and go take a shit. That was normally what you do. Is a process. You get a hole out of your stomach. You get tired, you want to rest. So if you're going to make something happen, though, you're going to eat a little bit, just enough to get you home, just enough to get that motivation, that adrenaline going, so you can go out there and make something happen, family. So you can hustle over granted obstacles, get your hog on. So, it's just ironic that this guy would say 8 years later that he feel that I owe him something. He see where the brand is going, so to speak, I guess, and he figured he hasn't been mentioned. Oh my goodness, and I'm gonna have to shout out to my partner DJ from Newport, Arkansas, white guy named DJ, kind of tall guy. One of my first, I would say, friends from Newport that I met him on the job actually. You know what I mean? Met the guy on the job, and we became real cool. I know his daughter. We worked together, hustled together. You know what I mean? Good guy. He never burnt me. You know what I mean? And he's the one that introduced me to the guy. So shout out to DJ for that headache. But I also appreciate him for helping me design the logo, because he said someone and we actually sat down and came up with something. And I had a few different people that, I was getting stuff done from Kansas City, from Little Rock, that was actually drawing things. And me and my guy came up with something. So, my logo actually got designed in Arkansas. So I can say it's from Arkansas, in Arkansas, made by Arkansas, from Arkansas, you know what I mean? And, like I say, it was a relationship that actually, man, me and dude could have still been having some things going, getting some money, doing some flyers, but he got petty, family, and I don't do petty, you know what I mean? I'm a man, you know what I mean? I'm the type of person, if we got a problem, we can jump in the boxing ring. And then when we get done, win, lose, or draw, we can sit out here and talk about it. That's just just how I was raised, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't survive 10 years in prison, family, because I was tucking my tail. You know what I mean? I didn't come out a man because I decided to do this. No, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You got a problem with me, let's talk this thing eye to eye, you know what I mean? And if I'm wrong, I'm man enough to say, you know what, you right. Let's fix this. But if I'm right and I know I'm right, you know what I mean? I'm not backing down on it. You know what I mean? Like, you can forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, we can cut that relationship short. And I have done it with many people, as far as like stop communicating with them, even family, relatives. It is what it is with me, because I don't care who you are. I'm not going to let you disrespect me. I'm not going to let you talk to me a certain way. I'm not going to let you disrespect me or try to tarnish my name without some type of repercussions. Like, if you want to sit there and say I did so and so, you're gonna have to prove that. You know what I mean? Like, because I stand on me. That's all I got, family. Like the mafia said, my balls and my word, family. I ain't gonna break neither. You know what I'm saying? It ain't happening with me. So anybody that know me know that, hey, if I tell you I love you, I love you. If I say I'm cool with you, I'm cool with you. If I say I'm standing with you, I'm standing with you. You know what I mean? I don't care what you got going on. I got family members and relatives now that's, not in a great position as far as health-wise, because they dealing with drugs and things. And I let them know that regardless of what you got going on, that could be temporary. I'm not letting you go. I still love and respect you. You do what you do. just don't bring it over here. But when we sit down and talk, we gonna talk just like them cousins we grew up at. For whatever that happened, we still family. We still them little cousins that played in the mud. You know what I'm saying? So I keep that just like it is, family, because I know that everybody have a hard time, and I want to see them rise. And I know that we all gonna fall into something. I fell into something for 10 years, family, and then I get out and have to fall into life and figure it out. You know what I mean? So that's why I like to tell people that, I did a decade in prison, and then I got out and did a decade in the streets trying to figure out the game, trying to figure out business, working on the job, figuring that out. And after I gave another decade is when I decided, hey, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get my hog on, family. I'm going to figure out a way for me to be independent, get some wealth, to live life, because they wasn't giving it to me. They wasn't teaching us, family. So I had to go out there and get it just like a hog, family. I was hungry. So I hit that wilderness and figured out something, And most people that's domestic like dogs, they'll sit down and wait on the bowl. They'll let master talk bad to them, beat them and everything, and he come bring a little bowl and some water and some treats. He wagging his tail, okay. Nah, hog ain't gonna do that. You hit us, you gonna have some repercussions. You know what I mean? We ain't going. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that we have to stop, family, representing nouns that don't represent us. And I want to say that this morning with that story and just be realistic with you, because things happen, family, in life. And you're going to meet people that, you're going to have to cut off. You're going to have to cut off for different reasons, you know what I mean? But you're going to have to cut off different brands. You're going to have to cut off different foods, like learning to be healthier, you know what I mean? And believe it or not, healthy doesn't taste great all the time. That's how they get you too, because if it tastes super, super good, there's some stuff in there you don't need. You know what I mean? So health doesn't taste great all the time, and health can be highest. They can charge you the most to live good. It's easy to live cheap and don't be healthy, and it's cheaper to live from McDonald's for the rest of your life than it is to go get some good groceries. You know what I mean? So the system is messed up, family. And we just have to be realistic with it, even with brands that we represent. Once you find out this brand isn't for your people, leave it alone. Like, I'm even looking for black shoe brands, black jean brand. Like, I want to buy, for my people that I see this doing something, giving back to the community. I want to invest in them, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to do with mine. And if I see someone doing something, like, I don't have no problem with sharing other people's stuff. Like, I do it all the time on my social media pages. If I see somebody got going on that I like and they got a movement, I'm gonna share it. I'm not asking them to share mine. I like it, so I'm gonna share it. And I feel like that's what we should do, man, to help our people. We should represent people that's representing things that we represent. And that's why I share it. I represent that truth. That's true. I'm sharing that. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I do. I don't have to know you, but I know what you own is what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. You know what I mean? So that's how we got to be, fam. And when it comes to representing the wrong nouns, fam, we just have to just break that curse, man. We have to break that. But before I get up out of here, though, I had a couple messages. I want to make sure that I lock them in because I seen them pop up. I want to make sure I address them. Yes. I do have my logo trademark, and I do have it copywritten, you know what I mean? So after I got it actually done, I went back and did all that. And I'm going to tell you something, it doesn't cost a lot. Realistically, it costs maybe it's under $100 to get your copyrights. And then it's around, I think I spent $250, $350 on my trademark. And I trademark, you do it two ways, because you're gonna trademark both. When you do your trademark and your copyrights, you're gonna copyright the name. So I copyrighted the name, HogOn Welding, HogOn, and then you copyright the logo, the image. So it's just like Nike, they got the check mark and then the name, you know what I mean? And then, certain people got different colors that represent. So I have the check mark, I have the HogOn is represented by me, and then also the logo. But I wouldn't worry about when it comes to things like that. Actually, it's kind of like even with your trademarking, one thing that I learned, they want to see it in process. So just because you come up with it right now, say you draw something or you pay someone $100, $500 for a logo or whatever you pay, $50, and you want to go get it trademarked right then, you can get it copyrighted right then, but you can't have it trademarked like right then because it have to show that the work is being in use. So you have to actually get it copyrighted and then start using it, putting it out there, putting it on shirts, putting it on this. So when you get ready to trademark it, you can show that, hey, this is mine. I got it on the social here. I got it on t-shirts. It's on my vehicle. It's on this and this. This represents me. That's how that works. And I had to learn that the hard way, family. And I actually did everything myself. It was a little headache because I had to read the different pages, go back, call these people, make sure I did the right thing, click this button. But I ended up finding out how to do it. And when it's pretty simple. So you can do it yourself, but it really will look real complicated when you're looking at that computer screen. They telling you all this different stuff. So I found out a few easy ways to do it. I even watched a couple YouTube videos on how to do it. I talked to the people myself. I called DC and I talked to a few different ladies that gave me some good advice. And so I learned a few things about trademarks. But like I say, when you come up with one, you got to have it. You got to have it actually out there. It needs to be in rotation. It needs to be visible. So you need to have it visible for at least a year. Showing that you represent it. So don't too much worry about that when it comes to content property like copyrights. That's going to be an easy way for you to be able to worry about anyone stealing from you, because I also got it copyrighted in song too. So I copyrighted it in song, and I also got a song called HogOn, and then I also got the name. So I did it in a few different ways. So there's a few different ways to protect yourself with that I learned. But even when you go in with your products, it's easy to get your copyrights first and then get the trademark once you show that it is actually in use, and then you can be able to do something, fam. But let me let you go. Like I said, I just wanted to come talk to you about that this morning. I feel like we really, really, really have to keep that in mind. Person, placing and things. Person, places and things. Stop representing things that don't represent you. HogOn, y'all be blessed.